You won't believe what just went down in the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni courtroom. Judge Lyman grilled both sides, shredded claims, and left everyone stunned. The unredacted texts, leaked messages, and behind-the-scenes drama are finally exposed. Who's really in the wrong? Who's going to pay the price? Stay tuned, because everything you thought you knew about this scandal is about to explode. The tension in the New York courtroom was palpable as Judge Lewis Lyman prepared to hear the motion for summary judgment filed by Justin Baldoni's legal team led by Brian Friedman in the high-profile civil suit brought by Blake Lively claiming hostile work environment and retaliation on the set of It Ends With Us. The stakes were enormous as Baldoni's attorneys argued that the alleged incidents were nothing more than minor grievances, creative differences, interpersonal friction, and natural onset discomforts that are part of any large film production and are not legally actionable. Blake Lively's legal team pushed back fiercely, claiming that the factual evidence was so overwhelming that this could not possibly be dismissed by a judge, and instead demanded a jury trial to decide the matter. As the courtroom filled with spectators and press, the atmosphere was electric and the anticipation was almost unbearable. Signor of Popcorn Planet was there live, reporting on every exchange, noting that while many critics and fans assumed Judge Lyman might be biased in favor of Lively, the reality in the courtroom was far more nuanced. Lyman challenged both sides repeatedly and did not simply accept scripted presentations from either legal team. From the opening moments, it was clear that Lyman wanted clarity. He pressed Justin's attorneys on every claim, demanding specifics and examples, while simultaneously pressing Lively's team on the line between acceptable professional conduct and alleged harassment. The interplay between the attorneys and the judge was intense, with moments of laughter and tension, as the judge punctuated his inquiries with pointed questions that revealed both the strengths and weaknesses in each argument. Lively's claims that the incidents were gender-based harassment were repeatedly questioned by Lyman, who seemed determined to understand whether the claims were grounded in factual evidence or merely narrative exaggeration. Justin Baldoni's side highlighted examples that seemed absurd to an outsider, such as the claim that being called sexy on set could constitute actionable harassment, and Lyman's response suggested a level of incredulity as he pressed the Lively team on the boundaries of professional conduct on a film set, bringing attention to the improvised scenes and moments of creative spontaneity, and questioning whether it was reasonable to require every touch, movement, or gesture to be pre-approved by a jury or director. The exchange revealed that much of the dispute arose from interpersonal friction and misunderstandings, amplified by intense media scrutiny and leaked communications, including texts involving Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, which had become public and were widely circulated in the past 48 hours. The courtroom witnessed the complex dynamics of celebrity influence, where messages and social media campaigns had escalated minor disagreements into major legal claims. As Judge Lyman navigated the highly charged environment, he was mindful of the legal standards while balancing the sensational elements of celebrity culture that were intertwined with the case. His questions reflected a careful attempt to distinguish between what could legally be considered harassment or retaliation and what was simply part of creative collaboration. The audience could sense that Lyman was not taking sides, but was instead seeking to uncover the truth through careful interrogation of each claim. The attorneys responded under pressure and sometimes stumbled while attempting to explain actions that to an outside observer seemed ordinary on a film set, yet under legal scrutiny were transformed into evidence for litigation. Lively's team relied heavily on narratives of gender-based discrimination, while Baldoni's team dismantled these arguments by highlighting similar treatment in other contexts and pointing out inconsistencies in the claims. The judge's questions often forced the Lively team to reframe their argument, exposing the fragility of certain claims and emphasizing the importance of factual evidence. In determining whether a jury would need to intervene, the courtroom became a theater of strategy, where every word and gesture carried weight. And as the hearing concluded, the anticipation of the decision loomed over the participants and observers alike, leaving the public to wonder how this high-stakes legal drama would ultimately unfold. The intricacies of the case extended far beyond what was visible in the courtroom, as the unredacted documents and text messages painted a complex picture of power dynamics and influence within the entertainment industry. The communications revealed an intricate web of interactions involving Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and other key players in the production of It Ends With Us, showing a blend of professional disagreement, public pressure, and private communication that intensified the conflict. What became apparent to those observing was that these exchanges were not isolated incidents but part of a larger pattern of behavior that blurred the lines between personal animosity and professional conflict. The court was confronted with not just claims of harassment and retaliation, but also the broader implications of celebrity influence where social media campaigns and public statements could shape the perception of truth and affect the legal outcomes. The judge appeared acutely aware of these dynamics, pressing both legal teams to focus on concrete evidence and factual claims rather than speculation or media-driven narratives. One of the most striking moments was the discussion of improvised scenes on set, where actors' creative choices intersected with professional expectations and consent. The arguments raised difficult questions about how much spontaneity and improvisation can coexist with a legal definition of harassment, and whether ordinary professional interactions could be mischaracterized under intense scrutiny. The legal teams debated examples from rehearsals and on-set interactions, bringing attention to specific moments such as dance sequences or ad-lib gestures where the context was critical to understanding the intent and effect. The judge challenged both sides to clearly define what constituted harassment and what was within the bounds of acceptable professional conduct, emphasizing the necessity for clarity and factual grounding for any claims to be legally actionable. In this charged environment, it became clear that the court would have to weigh not only the claims themselves but also the motivations and credibility of the witnesses and the relevance of external communications. The live audience and press witnessed the strategic maneuvering as each side tried to shape the narrative while adhering to legal standards, and Lyman's persistent questioning revealed that he was intent on ensuring the process remained grounded in law rather than spectacle. Every assertion was tested with precision, from gender-based harassment claims to alleged retaliation. The judge forced a detailed examination of evidence, including videos, correspondence, and first-hand accounts, underscoring the complexity of proving such claims when professional boundaries are ambiguous and interpersonal dynamics are intensified by the pressures of high-profile celebrity productions. The proceedings highlighted the challenges in adjudicating cases where ordinary workplace disagreements intersect with public perception, celebrity status, and media amplification, creating a situation where legal reasoning must carefully navigate both human behavior and the amplified consequences of public exposure. The observer was left with a sense of anticipation as to how the jury or the judge would ultimately determine what claims were substantiated by factual evidence and which were exaggerated or mischaracterized, leaving a lingering suspense over the outcome that would affect the reputations and careers of the parties involved. The courtroom drama was amplified by the ongoing revelations in the media and public discourse, where every leaked text message and social media interaction added layers of complexity to the legal proceedings. These documents showed attempts to influence public opinion through coordinated actions, including messaging campaigns and direct communications to actors, producers, and other stakeholders, revealing a power dynamic that extended beyond the set into the broader entertainment industry. The proceedings became a case study in the intersection of celebrity, legal accountability, and media manipulation. As the attorneys navigated these waters, they were compelled to address both the factual basis of the claims and the context in which these communications occurred. The arguments revealed the tensions inherent in interpreting interpersonal interactions within a professional context. Under public scrutiny, where messages and intentions could be misread or exaggerated, the judge's role in probing these dimensions was critical to ensure that claims of harassment and retaliation were evaluated on the basis of evidence and legal standards rather than emotional response or social pressure. The debate over gender-based claims further underscored the complexity of the legal landscape, where the definition of harassment is subject to interpretation and where factual context determines whether a claim has legal merit. The discussions surrounding improvised scenes and actor interactions brought into relief the delicate balance between creative freedom and professional conduct, and whether the law can reasonably intervene in artistic decision-making. The questioning of Blake Lively's team about specific examples of alleged misconduct exposed vulnerabilities in the case, highlighting moments that could be perceived as normal professional interaction rather than actionable harassment, and the attention to consent and communication between actors emphasized the need for precise understanding of the incidents. The courtroom witnessed a high-stakes negotiation of narrative and evidence, where each side attempted to frame events to support their legal positions while responding to incisive questions from the judge that often revealed weaknesses and inconsistencies in the claims. The observers in the gallery could sense the gravity of each exchange. As reputations and careers were under scrutiny, and the suspense built as to how the case would proceed, whether certain claims might be dismissed or whether the matter would ultimately be decided by a jury. The live reporting highlighted the human element within this legal drama, as the interplay between celebrity status, legal strategy, and public perception created a complex environment that demanded careful attention to both the letter of the law and the realities of the entertainment industry, leaving viewers on edge as they awaited the next development in this high-profile case. The legal teams faced continuous pressure from Judge Lyman to substantiate their claims with precise examples and to explain the impact of the alleged harassment and retaliation. The proceedings illuminated the challenge of adjudicating cases where subjective experiences intersect with professional expectations and creative environments. The judge repeatedly sought clarification on the nature of the harassment, the context of each incident, and whether the claims could reasonably be adjudicated as legally actionable. The cross-examination revealed that many claims hinged on interpretation of social dynamics, improvisation in creative work, and interpersonal disagreements rather than clear-cut legal violations. The discussion of improvised gestures, ad-libbed lines, and on-set interactions highlighted the difficulty of defining professional boundaries in artistic settings where creativity and authenticity are valued. The attorney's arguments also exposed the influence of media and public opinion on the perceptions of the parties involved. The unredacted documents and text messages revealed attempts to shape narratives outside the courtroom, emphasizing the intersection of public relations, celebrity influence, and legal strategy, which became a central consideration in evaluating the claims. The judge's rigorous questioning demanded that both sides confront the factual basis of their arguments and provided insight into how a jury might assess the credibility and relevance of evidence. The proceedings demonstrated that claims of harassment and retaliation cannot be considered in isolation from the broader context of the production and the social and professional dynamics at play. The audience and press observed a legal process that required careful parsing of details, consideration of intent, and assessment of both objective and subjective elements. The interplay of legal reasoning, factual evidence, and public scrutiny created a high-tension environment where every statement and piece of evidence was critical. The anticipation of the judge's forthcoming decisions left participants and observers alike with a sense of suspense as the implications of the case extended beyond the immediate parties to influence perceptions of professional conduct, accountability, and celebrity culture in high-stakes entertainment productions. Every interaction was under scrutiny, and the outcome promised to set a significant precedent for how similar disputes might be evaluated in the future, creating a sense of drama and uncertainty that captivated everyone involved and left a lingering question as to how the balance between law, creativity, and celebrity would ultimately be adjudicated. Courtroom saga of Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni underscores the complexities inherent in high-profile legal disputes, where interpersonal friction, media attention, and public scrutiny intersect with legal standards for harassment and retaliation. As Judge Lewis Lyman deliberates over the summary judgment motion, the proceedings have exposed the intricate dynamics of celebrity influence, professional conduct, and creative collaboration. The detailed examination of evidence, including unredacted text messages, improvised on-set interactions, and communications with other industry figures, has highlighted the challenge of discerning legally actionable behavior from ordinary professional disagreements. The judge's insistence on factual clarity and his probing of both legal teams has revealed the fragility of certain claims and underscored the necessity for a jury trial to evaluate the credibility and relevance of the evidence. The ongoing public and media scrutiny adds another layer of complexity, as perceptions of the parties' actions and reputations continue to evolve with each revelation and reporting update. The case has served as a dramatic illustration of how power dynamics, celebrity status, and media manipulation can influence the trajectory of legal disputes while reinforcing the importance of objective evaluation of factual evidence in judicial proceedings. As the legal battle moves forward, the anticipation surrounding potential outcomes remains high, with observers speculating on the implications for both parties and the entertainment industry at large. The proceedings have emphasized the need for careful legal strategy, precise documentation, and clear communication of factual evidence while challenging the parties to confront both personal and professional accountability in the public eye. The unfolding drama offers a cautionary tale about the intersection of fame, professional conduct, and the law while maintaining suspense and compelling attention from the public. as the case continues to evolve toward a potential trial and ultimate resolution, leaving all parties and observers eagerly awaiting the next development and the eventual judicial determination that could have lasting ramifications for the careers and reputations of those involved in this high-profile dispute. The Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni case is a dramatic reminder of how complex and high-stakes legal battles can become when celebrity, media, and personal conflicts intersect. Judge Lewis Lyman's Courtroom has revealed the delicate balance between legal standards and real-world interpersonal dynamics, showing that claims of harassment and retaliation require more than narrative and emotion. They demand evidence and factual grounding. The unredacted texts, on-set improvisation, and communications with industry figures have painted a picture of influence, power, and the blurred lines between professional expectations and personal grievances. Throughout the hearing, the judge pressed both sides rigorously, challenging arguments, questioning assumptions, and ensuring that the claims meet the necessary legal threshold for action. This has exposed weaknesses in some narratives, while highlighting the importance of clarity and consistency in legal presentations. The proceedings also underscore the role of public perception and media attention, as social media, leaks, and public campaigns have amplified interpersonal disputes into high-profile courtroom battles. For viewers, the suspense is palpable as each revelation reshapes the narrative and leaves questions about credibility, intent, and accountability. Whether the case is ultimately dismissed or proceeds to a jury trial, the implications will resonate beyond the immediate parties, serving as a precedent for how similar disputes are evaluated in the entertainment industry. For Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, the stakes are personal, professional, and highly public, with every document, message, and courtroom exchange potentially influencing careers and reputations. The unfolding drama continues to captivate observers, and the anticipation surrounding Judge Lyman's decisions ensures that this case remains a story that the public will follow closely for months to come.